All right, all right. We're going to give it like 30 seconds to let some people hop on, let everybody get it shared. I am so excited for tonight. This is our first time kind of coming into all the technology has for us, and we are so excited to be here tonight. Got some of my favorite ladies with me. Absolutely adore they're my blonde girls, all of my blonde girls tonight. I'm like the odd man out, but that's okay. So we'll give it just another second. We will make sure that we are in the right place. Everybody has it shared, and we'll be good. Okay, looks like we're good. All right, so we are here tonight to share an opportunity that all of us got started with, kind of just to make a little bit of extra for our families. We all kind of have different stories. We joined for different reasons. We've had completely different journeys, but we all are obsessed with this opportunity and what it has done for us and what it can do for everyone else. So we're excited to share our stories tonight and kind of tell you a little bit about what we do and why it just might be for you. So I'm going to go first and share my story. So my name is Trista, and I have been with It Works for 4 years now, which is insane. Prior to It Works, I was a registered nurse. I was married to a firefighter. We have 2 kids. We were like living the life, right? You go to college, you get a degree. That's just what you do. You have kids. We thought we were living the American dream, but there was always more month than money. We were literally living paycheck to paycheck. And I was at a point where I was actually contemplating, like, I worked in an office job, but I was thinking about picking up extra shifts at the hospital just so we could have a little bit of extra money, because no matter how hard we worked or no matter how many hours, it seemed like we were spending away from our family, we could never get ahead. We were covering the bills barely, but there was never any extra. We were not able to save. We were not able to do the extra vacations that we wanted to do. Like, I wanted to take my kids to Disney so bad, but that seemed like it was just never going to be an option for us. And so I actually started following Brittany, who you're going to hear from at the end. She went to high school with my husband, and so I didn't really know her, but I knew of her, so I was kind of a Facebook stalker. And when she joined this opportunity, I remember going to my husband Elisha and being like, "What is this Brittany girl doing? Like, what do you think about that?" And he was like, "Don't you even get any ideas in your head." He was like skeptic beyond, skeptic isn't even the right word. He was seriously he was a hater. He was like, companies like that don't work. He had worked very, very hard to build a sports performance business with a partner from the ground up. And so he really thought that's what you do. If you want to start a business or you want to make extra money, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you go out and you invest thousands of dollars and you build a business from the ground up. And so kind of after he said, "No, Tris, I just don't think that that's a good idea. I think those companies are scams or whatever." I kind of started telling myself all the reasons I wouldn't be good at this. So one, I'm very, very shy. I am a huge introvert. And so talking to I look like I'm talking to 4 people on the screen right now, even though I know there are more people watching. I literally, even that just gives me palpitations. I'm not an extroverted person. I had a super tiny network. I literally graduated high school with 17 people. I had 200 Facebook friends. I never posted on social media. I was again, a Facebook stalker. That's all I did, is I just would scroll and see what everybody was up to, but I never ever posted. So I had no experience, nothing. I'm horrible at sales. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies even thinking about trying to do sales. So it's totally not something that I really thought that I would be good at. So I talked myself out of this opportunity for 8 months. And I sat back and I watched Brittany, who you're going to hear some of her story, but at the time she was a single mom and she was able to do things for her son that I was not able to do for my kids, even though we were both working our butts off. We were working 120 hours a week, and we still couldn't do the extras, like take your kids to Disney, that I just wanted to do before my kids kind of got older than that magical age, And so I sat back and watched, and I laid awake at night praying for something to change. And all along, this is right in front of my face on Facebook. One night, it was actually a day. Brittany, I was on my way to work. Brittany made a video on Facebook, and I still to this day, I don't exactly know what she said, but something clicked. And I was like, you know what, Trista, nothing is ever going to change until you do something different. It's $100. I knew at least that much. It's $100 to join. You would spend that at Target and not think twice about it. What if this really could work for you? So instead of thinking all the scary things of, what if I fail? Or what if I lose a friend? Or what if somebody says something about me? It was that switch in that question that really got me. But what if it does work? And what if I could make a little bit of extra money for my family from my cell phone without having to pick up extra shifts at the hospital or without having to do anything else to make money? I could do it while I was at home, while I was working full time. And so I reached out, and it took a little bit of convincing of my husband, but he finally was like, you know what, Tris, if it's something you want to do, I'll support you. Kind of like gave me a pat on the butt and go get him. Like, he didn't really think I would ever do anything with it. But much to his surprise, our lives look completely different now, 4 years later. Within 10 months of joining, I had replaced my full-time nursing salary, came home to be a full-time work from home mom. I never have to miss a moment. I get to be the classroom mom. I get to take my kids to school. And, I remember saying when I first had my daughter, people would ask, like, do you want to stay home? And I used to say no. Like, I used to say no. And part of that was, like, I really didn't, I enjoyed my job a lot. But the bigger part of it was that I didn't ever think it would be a possibility for me. And so I was a realist. And so if it wasn't going to happen, I wasn't going to spend my time dreaming about it. And that was my mindset prior to this company. But this company changed everything for me. When you get around people who tell you to dream big and who encourage you that no dream is crazy, you guys, you can do literally anything that you have your heart set on. It's placed there for a reason. And so this company can totally do that for you. So I retired within 10 months. My husband came home to be a work-from-home dad after 2 years, which is insane. But we've been a full-time family, and we talk about it all the time, but I seriously cannot think of one area of my life that is not better because of this company. Because of this opportunity that I joined to make a couple $100 extra a month, I'm healthier. I have more friends. I'm a dreamer. My husband gets to pursue his passions in life rather than working for somebody else. It literally has changed everything for us. And it can do that for absolutely anybody. You're going to hear stories tonight. We are all so different. When we come from, we're in different seasons of life. We totally have different experiences. We join for different reasons. Our journeys are different. But it is anybody who wants do something with this company, it can do anything for your family that you desire. So we are going to go next to Melanie. So when she joined, like I said, we were in completely different seasons of our life, different experiences. We had very different expectations or even desires when we joined. So Melanie, share your story with us and kind of talk about what this company has done for you, both financially, but also for your family's health.
Okay. So about 3 years ago, well, it'll be 3 years in August, I joined. But prior to that, I had 3 kids. Trista didn't have kids in school yet. I had 3 kids that were in school. I had been substitute teaching at that point for 4 years. Spoiler alert, substitute teachers make junk money, but it fits so well with their school schedule, coming to my classroom. And everything looked so good from the outside. Everything looked, I wouldn't even have messaged myself back then because everything looked so good. Like, we had it all together. I've been a stay-at-home mom. So my oldest is almost 17. So almost 17 years I've been a stay-at-home mom. And we just needed extra. There was always more month than money. We were always, everything was getting paid on time, but there wasn't anything left over. We had, kids that were playing travel sports and horseback riding and all these kinds of things. And so I started substitute teaching to pay for these extracurriculars. But what happened was that $200 a month in substitute teaching came at a really high price. I was stressed out all the time. I was panicking, before I had to go sub, I, have panic attacks and all of that. It was awful. And then I desired to homeschool. Like God laid it on my heart and said that was really something we wanted to do with our youngest child. But that $200 had become such a cushion. It wasn't totally covering things the way we needed it to, but we started relying on that. And so giving that up, I didn't know. I mean, I've never bartended. I have never been a waitress. I've never done any of these things, but I was looking at anything I could do at night that I could still be there during the day and do what we needed to do. The kids would go to bed, and I was willing to go off and do these crazy things that are so far out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't even know. So Trista posted, I was following Trista, somewhere around June, I saw her pay cash for her car, and it was like $50,000, right? And I was like, okay, wait. So not only did they have these skinny wraps that could tighten up, I had an 80-pound weight loss prior to this business, and I had loose belly skin. And I thought, surely there's $200 a month. Like maybe, like hope beyond hope, there's going to be that. But at the very least, I get, some wraps with my kit and whatever. Okay. So also, guys, I don't know if you know this, but the way I used to shop, it would either be one, having to walk out of the store and not buy whatever it was I was looking at, or two, I would buy it and then feel guilty for days afterwards and have to like call Brad and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to pull it out of this grocery budget, or I'm going to do that. So if you're sitting there thinking like you wanted to get your nails done, but you did that, and so now the birthday party that your kid's going to, you can only spend $5 on the kid present. I know what it's like to be shuffling that money around because you have a finite amount of surplus every month. So anyway, so it still took me until August to join, and because I was so scared. I mean, I only joined because I needed to shut the voices up. Like I was seriously waffling so badly back and forth about what if it works? What if it doesn't? What if the wraps are a joke? What if they're not? What if they actually would do something? What if I could make money? What if people laugh at me? I mean, I had everything. And I had listened to friends, go on and on about how network marketing was scammy. They talk badly about, oh, so-and-so just joined blah, blah, blah. And then that would be the lunch conversation. And I let that stick with me for almost 9 months. 9 months, that talk and chatter kept me from doing what I really felt could do something for us. So I joined, and I remember Trista's husband asking me, what's your big goal? Like, what do you want out of this? And I was like, well, I don't want to lose money, because I envisioned having like a closet or drawer full of product that I was not interested in using because I only knew about the wraps and I was scared to even try those, and that I was going to not make any money. And here I'd blown even more household budget on a bunch of product. And so Trista was like, okay, well, that can't happen. That literally cannot happen. That's not how this business works. So dream bigger than that. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, substitute teaching brings in $200 a month. If I made $200 a month, I literally would have felt like I hit the lottery. That was how big that dream was to me. And then I made $300 in my first 2 weeks. So right out of the gate, I realized very quickly how fast this business can change your life. I was able to stop substitute teaching almost from the very beginning of this business. I stopped taking on new jobs. I joined in August. I stopped taking new jobs in September. I did not take another job past December in my first 4 months. I got my $500, bonus in the first couple of months. We hit diamond, 6 months later. So that was making 4 figures a month. And then a couple years in, we're making 5 figures a month with this on my income only. I cannot begin to describe, I don't even know where to start, because when you get to where we are, and I hear this on so many of my team as well, there's not an area that this business doesn't touch. There's not an area of your life that it doesn't impact, because financially, when you start freeing up some of that worry and stress and all the things that you felt have been weighing on you, you are then able to grow and develop and do so many other things. And so I'm a better mother, I'm a better wife, but I'm a flat out better person. I was just talking to somebody last night and saying how the people that know me now have no idea who I was 3 years ago. And it's because I've completely 180'd. There's no way. I mean, you guys can see, classic me is bright red, but I'm able to do it because this just happens, okay? But the girl of 3 years ago could never have talked to someone. I couldn't eat in restaurants because I was too nervous and panicky. I could never have gotten on a plane. I didn't travel outside my house. I could barely leave my bubble. Panic and anxiety are very stifling. But what happens is when you have something that's bigger that forces you, I mean, money is a big motivator, friends. Like if you're not already realizing that in your life, money impacts almost every decision that you make in your entire life, even towards looking for future spouses or, kids, activities, their future careers. It impacts so much. So when you have that as a motivator, because you're like, all right, well, I'm not comfortable going to speak in front of people, but I think that it's going to help my business and grow my business and improve us. I'm doing it. I was willing, and I'm still willing to this day to do whatever it is if it means it's going to impact my life and my team's lives. And so my husband lost 50 pounds in the first 3 months of the business. That was completely unexpected. He even came to me a month after using just one of our products, because he'd been using one that tasted like, he said tasted like grass clippings. And so he said, you got to get those greens and just try it. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but fine, like, put it in the cart. And so 10 pounds lost in that first month. And he's like, we should probably take a before picture, because that was the only thing he changed. And so he goes on, he was shrinking so fast. I'm a seamstress. He was shrinking so fast that I stopped taking his pants in because I was doing it every week. That's how fast he's changed. And we actually so we look back at pictures. We call his old pictures. He's gonna hate me, but Babyface Beretti is it's like a character on Scooby-Doo. We call his old pictures because it's such a transformation. So we got his health back. We got, years added on to his life. We talk about my own mental health and, but it tightened up my belly. So that skin that I was so self-conscious about, so I could start feeling more confident in my clothing. The kids have been, we've remodeled every room. At this point, we do a lot of DIY. So we've done extensive remodeling throughout our house, things that we could never get to. We've lived here for 12 years in this house. It's only been in the last couple years that we've been able to do these things, because financially that stuff takes a back burner to your immediate needs. So we've been able to start leasing a horse within the last year. We just completed the first full year of leasing that horse. Ella, my middle, used to ride once a week, $50 a pop. That's what that $200 a month was spent on. And now she rides almost daily. 6 days a week, because when you lease a horse, you have that freedom. It's incredible to be able to provide that. So coming from a stay-at-home mom lifestyle, that's a one-income household, and that's all we've known in most of our married life, because we had our daughter a year into our marriage. So our 18th anniversary is coming up. She turned 17. Most of that time, we've been a one-income household up until the last 3 years. And when you have that, even if that one income is a really good income, you make sacrifices because you know what's coming down the pipe. You know that you've got college, and I have 2 girls, 2 teenagers, and almost one other teenager. He's 12. And that you got college looming, and you've got all these extracurriculars. And I don't care what situation you're in. There's no way that you don't have things that you say no to, because you know that your budget is finite and tight. And so the blessings on this are so plentiful, but honestly, it's the stress and worry of never having to worry about our bank account anymore, because it frees that up for so many other choices and decisions that we get to make that I don't have to think about anymore. So it's incredible.
Isn't it the best? And it's hard to narrow it down to pick your, what do I talk about? Because literally there is so much we could talk about, but we all know money isn't everything, but when you don't have it, it's all you think about, and it impacts every decision you make. And so just the freedom of not having to think about it all the time. Do I have enough to cover this? Do I have enough to cover this? It literally, I can't even. So with that, Christy's going to talk a little bit about how we actually make money. She started with a very specific goal in mind, which I absolutely, it was amazing to watch kind of how quickly she smashed that goal. So Christy, I'm going to kick it over to you, and you can share your story and then talk a little bit about how we actually make money.
All right. So my name is Christy Reedy, and I hope that I'm not old enough to be all of your mothers, but that is, I think, kind of what.
Not here. I just celebrate 18th wedding anniversary, girlfriend. I turned 40.
All right. So we're at least close. But I think when you talk about different seasons of your life. Melanie and I both have, kids that are older. There are people in all seasons of their life. So I love that about this. But I think what's also really cool is, even though we're all in different seasons of our life, I think there's a common thread that we all kind of share, which is none of us saw ourselves doing this whole network marketing thing, because I don't think anyone does. I mean, no one grows up, and maybe now kids do, but before, because no one has a brain cell for it. No one really knows what to do with it. So it's definitely a skill that you learn. I think we all had those fears for sure. But I joined about 2.5 years ago, and I had been watching a couple of friends, very similar. I had been watching a couple of friends on their journey. One of them was my principal at that time, and I was watching her kind of wither away in front of me. She lost 40 pounds. And then another friend was just killing it on the business end. And I, again, people may not realize it, but I am very introverted. I'm very good at faking it in public, but the thought of doing any kind of sales petrified me. And, my family was like, are you sure about that? It's just so far out of the realm of what I do. I had been a middle school teacher for 20 plus years. And so my whole world revolved in the education world. I joke that I just now recently learned what a fiscal year is, because I just have always operated on a school calendar, so that whole thing is very different for me. But I had changed jobs and moved to where my kids were in school. And that was such a blessing for so many reasons. But I had taken like a $12,000 pay cut, and we live in a 100-year-old farmhouse. And so all of the money that we would save for family vacations would go for a new septic tank, and it would go for a new roof and a new heating and air conditioning. And I'm so thankful that we had that money saved up. But that is zero fun. Let's go enjoy our new septic tank. That doesn't happen. And so, our oldest was in 8th grade, and I was starting to have that panicky, he's going to be leaving. Oh my gosh. Because I just know that once they get into high school, time just skyrockets. And then our youngest is 2 years right behind him. And so I just had this, we have to make more memories. We have to do more things together. And so that was really my driving force. And so those fears, I had all those same fears. I was worried about what people would think. I was worried that I didn't know enough people. I was worried that I would fail. I had the mom guilt about spending that $99, but Melanie's right. When your purpose for doing it is bigger than your fear, and when you really tap into your purpose, it just shuts all of that down. It shuts all of it down, because nobody else was going to send us on vacation. No one else is going to, pay for my kids' college. And so that shut down all the fears. And then I'll tell you the other thing that happens, because I'm one of those crazy people that joined having never tried a product before. I mean, I knew that they worked because I had friends who were using them, and I was seeing the evidence of the products. But, and actually, I wanted to use the products, but we just didn't have it in the budget, and I wasn't going to spend the money. And I thought, well, if I can make enough money for the products, then I won't feel badly about it. But when you do start using the products, you fall in love with them. And then all of a sudden, that whole fear of selling just switched for me, because I just want to share them. I genuinely want to share them. These new products, 2.5 years later, these new products that are coming out, my fire is lit all over again. And I'm so excited to share the products and how they're making me feel, and how I'm busting through weight loss plateaus and things like that, because you genuinely want to share them with other people. So many of those fears can be squelched once you get started, and once you have the support of the team that's teaching you. You don't have to know all the things. That's why we're here. We teach you those things. So anyway, fast forward, I jumped in and I just loved it. I loved everything about it. It spoke to my teacher heart. So many of the skills that I use in teaching are also skills that make you successful in this business. And I was like, oh, this isn't my wheelhouse. I got this. And so, that on top of my excitement with the products and what I was doing, really kind of my business caught fire. And so we had a 4-year goal to take a 2-week trip to Hawaii. not staying at the Red Roof Inn. Not that there's anything wrong with that Red Roof Inn, but I just really like go big or go home is what I wanted to do. And so, so that was a 4-year goal. And I was like $500 a month. If I can make $500 a month, we will get there. Well, 5 months into the business and we booked that trip. It was I get weepy thinking about it. It was the craziest thing. And so, I hit diamond, I got a big bonus. We booked the trip. And then 6 months into the business, I had matched my monthly teaching salary. And now all of a sudden, it's not just that we booked that trip, but we start putting money in the bank and we're like, oh my gosh, we can start paying down that college loan. We can start paying off those braces because of course both kids are in braces at the same time, so if, that next spring break, we took that trip and I really think that changed it for us. My husband is a middle school administrator, so he's super busy. It was on that trip when we were both able to slow down and really like pick our head up. Because isn't life like that? Like you're so busy with kids and events that you just put your blinders on and you just plow through life, and you don't really take the time to lift your head up and look around and go, wow, 6 months just went by and we didn't even notice because we were too busy like surviving, like you're kind of in survival mode. And so it was on that trip when we really made the decision, like, and it was my husband, he said, you love it, you're good at it. If you could put the time into this, that you do your teaching job, this could be a total game changer for us. And so that's what we went for at the end of that school year. As much as I loved teaching and I loved it with my whole heart, I stepped down from teaching, and then within like 3 months, I had quadrupled my monthly teaching income. In a year, 18 months into the business, then that month I made 7 times my monthly teaching salary. So here's what that does. We were doing fine financially. We didn't carry a lot of debt. Like I didn't consider car loans and, your home loan, or I thought everybody has that. We weren't people that really carried credit card debt. So I didn't really think of us being in debt. But all of a sudden, when your financial situation changes to the point where you can pay cars off early, pay student loans off early, pay cash for vehicles like we were able to do, like, I was like, who does this? It's just a whole different experience. And what happens is you have an even more important commodity, which is choice, and you have time. You get to choose what you do, when you do, how you do it, and with whom that you do it. Those kinds of things that you didn't even know were options before come with that financial freedom. And so that's been the biggest blessing. It has allowed my husband to take on a different role at his school so that we see him more, which is even more important than any amount of money. My kids are old enough that they can articulate, like, Mom, you're a different person. We enjoy you so much more. I think they're telling me I'm a little bit more of a nice person, because I don't have the stress of trying to do so many things at the same time. But I do want to talk a little bit about making money, because people are probably like, how did you make that much money in 5 months? The thing that I love about this company, so many things, but one of the things I love is our compensation plan. It is completely designed around teamwork. And I mean, this is a little egotistical of me, but I know it's because our CEO was a teacher. And so he's got that teacher coach mentality, and he knows that we're better when we work together as a team. And so it's really kind of based around the teamwork model. And so I am more successful when people that join with me are successful. So I have a vested interest in their success. And so not only do I get paid commissions each month, which is really based on a percentage of the sales of everyone in my organization, which you need to look up residual income, because it's completely different than normal sales income. It's night and day different. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we get paid commissions on the orders of everyone in our establishment. We also get these unlimited weekly bonuses. And so when I do have a business partner that joins me, when I help them get their business started, I can earn $100 bonus. And actually right now this week, you can earn double that. So just by helping teammates get started with their business, you can earn a $100 bonus. And like I said, this week you can earn 2. Guys, that one's a game changer. That's like, let me add it. Like, let me help all of my people and let me earn all of those $100 bonuses. It's so much fun when those hit in your bank account, because that's just like extra money. So that's on top of our weekly commissions. And then as you build your business, you also have opportunities to earn bonuses. And so in 2.5 years, I've earned over $70,000 in bonuses alone, which is crazy because that's just bonus. That's on top of my monthly commissions. So it's amazing that we have those opportunities, and those are open to anyone. There's nothing. Everybody has the same opportunity. Everyone comes in at the same point and has the same opportunities to build and earn those bonuses. And, you know, for me, I love it when my teammates and the people that joined with me hit those. So I know we all work really hard to make sure that people coming in learn what they need to do to be able to hit those too. And there are other ways of earning money too. Like for me, I paid $99 to join, and that came with some free products like they do right now. And I immediately sold my wraps and earned that money back. So my business since day one has been in the black. I've never been in the red. And so, but you know, even if I was, I would still do it because this business has been such a blessing. So I would spend that $99 over and over and over again because there's such low overhead for running a business, and there's so much more to gain. So I'm excited about the future, and I'm excited to hear from Brittany.
And Christy, I love that you brought up the teamwork aspect of this and how literally, so when we join, most of us join because we need that little bit of extra. Like we need that $500, we need that couple $100. But once you really realize what you have your hands on and you start to make that couple $100, it takes some of that breathing. You can like breathe again, right? But then that allows you to focus on the people that you're bringing in, and you really truly, like if you help them get to where they want to go, your paycheck just naturally grows, and it gives you that much more breathing room and that much more ability to help other people. And I love that you brought that up. Okay, Britt. So the whole reason I got in this business is this girl right here. And she has gone through probably more transitions and different seasons of life than anyone that I have watched. But the thing I love about Brittany is she shows up all the time, no matter what she has going on, no matter what stage of life she's in or how many kids she has or whatever, she always shows up, and it just proves how easy this business is to work into your day, no matter what. So Britt, share your story and talk to us a little bit about kind of how you weave this into your day and how people can weave this into what they're already doing. And then I'm just going to let you close us out.
Absolutely. Okay, so before I get started, I'm literally about bawled. I'm pretty sure you guys were like, is she okay? I was like starting to hyperventilate. And I think it's because, first of all, hearing your guys, like I'm going to cry again. Hearing your guys' stories, you never know the impact you will make by saying yes. And I know that my life, this is like ridiculous. I know my life wouldn't have changed had someone said yes. And I just keep thinking that, like, what if you have to be the one to say yes to legit change someone else's life? And Christy, you said something that legit rocked my world. And that you said people are so busy surviving that they don't even realize what they're missing out on. And I think that was like my aha moment, because so many people say no to this, but I don't even think that they even realize what they're saying no to. And to me, that's scary, right? And so that's why we do this as a team. It's like, it's not one of those things that like, wave our flag saying, ooh, I've earned $265,000 in bonuses, even though I have, right? It's not even a bragging thing. It's if someone would not have shown me that this was legit and real, I would have never said yes. So I'm so glad that they put those posts out there. I'm so glad that they made these videos, and that's why we do this now. So to kind of answer your question, but I had to explain, like, if I turned into a hot mess or if you saw me turn, like, my eyes turn bright red, because I was literally about to bawl. So this month, I will have been in the business for 5 years, which is insane to me. When I joined this business, I was a single mom. I was the classic, no, I wouldn't be good at that. I don't know enough people. I'm way too shy. Yes, we all get red and blotchy. I've gotten way better, though. I've gotten so much better. And you know, when that stranger on social media, you see those posts of like, if one more person messages me and offers me this opportunity, I'm just so annoyed. I literally, God used Alyssa to send me that cold message. I would have never admitted that I was putting my groceries on a credit card, right? Because I thought that because I was a single mom, there was no other option. I was just kind of like, well, these are the cards I've been dealt, and I'm someone that has my glass is always half full, so it just is what it is. Had she not reached out to me, I would have never said yes. But here's the thing, I actually said no, right? So said no. And I would have unfollowed her because I was getting very jealous, very annoyed by her posts. But reality was I really wasn't even, I was just jealous that she was getting to do things that I could only dream about when I was sleeping, literally. And so it was about 3.5 months later that I finally realized Brittany, you cannot complain any longer about the tires needing replaced or I had to save for my first vacation with Ty and I saved for 3 years to be able to take Ty on his first vacation. But I can't complain about it if I'm not willing to do something about it. And I finally sent her a message that says, I have 2 questions. Can I make my $99 back? And do you think I can earn some free product? Because kind of like Christy, I couldn't like the 2 products I wanted were at the time was hair, skin, and nails and stretch mark cream. And to me, those are kind of like cosmetic things. And if we're going to be very honest, I'm going to have you guys raise your hand if you agree with me, just so that we can like agree or not. Wouldn't you say that we may have started more of a cosmetic company when we all joined, but now it's genuinely from the health, from the inside out, right? Okay. So my whole thing is did my stretch marks really need to go? Like, should I take money from Ty and I to worry about my stretch marks? And I just couldn't justify it. So I was thinking, okay, if I spend this money and can earn those products for free, then I won't feel so bad. And here's the thing. You guys all kind of mentioned that although you were living, month to month, paycheck to paycheck, kind of, your situations were still breathable, right? I didn't even have the $99. I had to put it on a credit card. But for me, the second that I realized that if I'm going to do this, I have to put it on a credit card was the moment I realized I had to do it. If you do not have $99 to do something for yourself, that should be a reality check right there. And for me, it was. And so when I joined this business, like I said, I was a single mom. I never even posted selfies by myself. So when I first started this business, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I literally used my son. I'm like, all right, Ty, get in this picture with me so I don't feel like an awkward turtle, even though I'm super still awkward. They all make fun of me. And what's crazy is I'm going to go over, I'll tell my story in this, but I'm going to kind of go over the things that we do. Okay. And I wrote them down because everyone knows I get distracted with squirrels and I get so excited that I could talk for days. So one of the things that we do is we build relationships. This one in my mind was hard for me because being someone that really, I didn't love meeting new people. And I didn't love meeting new people because people thought I wasn't very approachable, but it really was that I was so nervous that it just seemed like that. One thing that this business has done for me is it's given me so much confidence and so much I walk with my head high these days that even if the money wasn't a thing, if I would have known this would have been something I could have still gotten out of it, I still would have said yes. So I'm thankful the fact that I get to, it's not even I have to, we get to build relationships with people to, one, change their lives and show them that there is a way. You don't have to just survive. You can actually live. One of the other things we do is we get to offer a health and wealth to people, and something I'll talk about at the end, but some people just want the health aspect, and that's okay. And some people, like me, you want both. Who wouldn't want to be healthier, right? I want to be around forever for my children and for my family. But I also want to be around them, not just working so many hours and then knowing that someone else is taking care of them. And one thing that I want to talk on right now is sometimes people will tell me and they'll say, you know, to be honest, I feel like I get two sides sometimes. I get the ones that don't want to be stay-at-home moms. They're like, I truly cannot imagine being home all the time. Or the opposite of, I can't imagine being at work. Do you want to know why I do this? Because I want a little of both. I want to be home and I want to be with my babies when I want to be. But if mama needs a break, or if I want to go do something for myself, I don't want to be tied to my home and feel like I don't have the financial resources to do that. And this has allowed me and all of you and anyone else that wants to do it to create the life that they genuinely want to live. And it's okay if our lives all look different. The other thing that has been, I know, massive for all of you, because I've gotten to know all of you really well. And like Melanie said, people meet me now and they don't believe that I was shy. They don't believe that I was a severe introvert. They don't believe that I did not really want to do this business. They see me now and they're like, whatever, I don't believe it. Now, people that were my friends forever, you know, I have a good friend that I love her, and she every once in a while she'll send me a text message and she'll say, I love seeing the growth that I've seen in you, and I wish that everyone could see how much this has changed you, but in a positive way, because now you're spreading light instead of just keeping it to yourself. I had so much to offer. I was just too shy to spread that light, right? And so now I'm not. One of the other things we do is we literally get paid to be healthy. Most of you guys know that are probably watching. You guys know who Erin Tweed is. This is one of our uplines as well. She sent me a message tonight on Facebook and she was like, you're like, and I had shown pictures from like the past, just when Ty was like 4 until now. I look younger and healthier now than I did then. If you look at pictures in my 20s, I feel like, man, I'm rocking this 30 thing, and I am not one to toot my own horn, but like, I look at some pictures from the back in the day, we've talked about this, and I'm like, well, I was clearly not taking care of myself. I love that I get paid to be healthy. That is something that's mind-blowing to us. That's another thing that you would do when you do this with us. The other thing is we use social media. Do you have to? No. If you absolutely want to work belly to belly and just have those one-on-one conversations, if you want to have the parties, if you want to meet in the coffee shops, by all means, you can do that. But coming from someone that if you would have told me I had to do that, I'm like, let me hide behind social media. Right now, I'm good to do both. I love that we get paid to do something that everyone is doing all day, every day. And it's all, I always kind of giggle when I see people talk about like social media, like not being a good, bad thing or whatever, but they're the first one to like the post. They're the first one to be on top of everything. I'm like, you should be getting paid for this. And so literally like, that's all we do. That is literally all we do, but we do it extremely consistently. There's one thing that I wanted to talk about before I kind of finish my story, and that something happened in this business. I told Trista, I said, I want to share something. She's like, what? I said, I want to share about how sometimes you get things that you're not expecting. And she's like, well, I'm pretty sure she was like, what is she planning on sharing? Because I can tell with her answer. She's like, well, are you planning on sharing this on the opportunity of it? I'm like, yes, I got this. I know there are other people out there watching this that in their past life, right, months, maybe years, you go to do a lifestyle change and it lasts for a couple days and then you fall off that wagon. Or maybe it lasts for a couple weeks, or maybe it lasts for a couple months and then you fall off that wagon again. One of the best things that I could have ever done is I attached my health to this business because I want to be so successful, because I want to, and not cry, I want to keep my dad home. I want to be able to pay my in-laws home off. I want to be able to give the way I give. The one thing that I do not like about life is that people try to continue to put limits on you. I want to live without limits. I want to live and give without them. And so I'm thankful that in order, you don't have to be healthy, but I get paid to be healthy. And who would have thought that the best accountability partner that I could have found is a business that pays me? I invested $99 on a credit card and within a year had retired from my dental job that I had paid and went in debt to go to school, to still work, to be in debt. Something is wrong with this world, right? And I want to end with something, and then I'll kind of close out, is my grandpa, and I made a post about it, my grandpa made a comment, and he said, I almost wish that retirement was different. You could live between like your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, you'll get the point. And then when your body didn't work so well, then you could kind of go to work. Because he said, here I am, finally retired, and my body and my mind doesn't even let me enjoy retirement. And I missed out on all the traveling. I missed out on all the meeting new friends. And so that's my thing is, why wait to be 65 to retire? Do it now. Okay. And so I kind of just want to, once again, I had to like make myself notes. I think my biggest thing is, wouldn't you guys all say, and don't say this if you don't feel like it's the truth, but do you feel like we all kind of said yes before we were really ready? Right? Like you said it and then you're like, I mean, actually, if I'm going to be real honest, I said yes and then I got made fun of, right? So I'm like, what'd I just do? Like buyer's remorse. But to me, that drove me. And I actually think if I could recommend anything, is if you're not 100% ready, that's when I think you need to get started, right? Because you're going to invest $99. You're going to see your health change whether you're ready for it or not. Your mind is going to grow. You will become a different person. Reality is this world is hard, right? There are daily struggles that come all the time. I can tell you that I've always been someone that has a glass half full, but there is a difference now because I used to be very obsessive about what I couldn't control, and it would literally kind of destroy every other part of my life. And now, because this business has made me different mentally, when something comes up that I don't love, because life is real, life is hard, I'm a different person and I'm ready to fight the fight. So what I would tell you is, I understand you may have some questions. I want to direct you to the person that invited you here, and I want you to ask them more questions, right? Maybe you have some more detailed questions that you have. Here's the thing. Asking questions will not cost you a dime at all. But not asking those questions could cost you a better life. And I would hate for you to keep that from yourself just because of a fear of just letting someone know that, you know what, actually I may be interested. So the other thing that I want to talk about is there are kind of two ways to get started with us. Sorry. One is through the products. One is through the business. I personally had never really tried a product when I joined. And I think it was the best thing I ever could have done. And here's why. I already wanted them anyways. So once I started taking them, I took people on the journey with me, and I showed them every single day what I was feeling, what things were changing. And I was a very honest person. Not only did it build my business, it changed my life. And now you're seeing all the other people, plus hundreds of more on our team, that their lives have been changed. So we just want to thank you for coming. We want to thank you for listening. But please don't hesitate to ask more questions. And maybe the person that you reach out to, if you even want to talk to one of them and one of us in a group chat, we would be happy to answer together any questions you have, because we just know that there is no reason why you should be surviving life. You should be living it to the fullest.